Hello, everybody. Let's talk. Okay, so 4th of July weekend is over. Back to work, everybody. Everybody who has to go back to work anyway. Oh, there it is. So, T-shirt of the day is another T-shirt I got from the Freedom Festival of Cadillac. Check that out. Very beautiful shirt. Kind of both from the same vendor. 2 for 15. Heck of a deal. Okay, so yeah, I probably could have made it myself, but where's the fun in that? England. Woohoo! Woohoo! Go UK! Go UK! That's my rendition of what's going on with the World Cup. England smacked Mexico down, which kind of wasn't unexpected. I mean, let's face it, most of the people watching or paying any attention to the World Cup was expecting that. Bitcoin is coming back up. It's on the rise, for those of you who are into that. And tonight, USA plays in the World Cup. So, Denny's restaurants are dropping like flies. Um, I actually used to work at Denny's restaurant in Grand Rapids on the 44th Street. Denny's. Loved their food. Still do love their food. Um, but most of them are shutting down. Like boom, boom, boom. We were in Jackson, Jackson, Michigan, for my mother's celebration of life a couple weeks ago, and the Denny's there is still open for those of you who are interested in that. I love Denny's. I mean, it's good food, it's good prices, whatever. Um, Dooby dooby doo. Not much in the line of news yet this week. Apparently, there's been a lot of accidents over the weekend with fireworks. Please, I can't say it enough. If you're going to use fireworks, please be careful and don't be stupid. Fireworks are meant to be seen and not, you know, worn. Mm. So, yeah, not a whole lot going on in the news department, but in the life department, there's always something going on. So I'd like to hear from those of you who want to damn, be on my live. I want you in that block. Anybody. Um, I'd love to see somebody in that block. Speaking of blocks, doesn't look like my restream chat is working again. It doesn't look like it's working. So again, I've got my YouTube going over here. and look like my Facebook going over here. So those of you who are interested in leaving me any sort of messages, like, subscribe, follow. Um, I'm still waiting for anybody to give me feedback on Bojangles before I go downstate, go down south, not downstate, down south. Um, Here in a couple of months. My daughter is getting married in a couple of months. Definitely excited and looking forward to that. How many of you knew that you could, if you wanted to, take a look at the entirety of the quote unquote officially known solar system, universe? You can view some of my glasses. You can view a full sky map of what the Hubble telescope has seen at NASA's um, science.nasa.gov, and just search for the Hubble sky map. Boom! Look at that. Yeah, those are all planetoids and stars and such. But don't worry, because at the bottom, they give you explanation of which ones are stars, which ones are galaxies, which ones are nebulas, exotic or exoplanets, which I didn't know what an exoplanet was until, oh wait, today. Yep, I am like everybody else, constantly learning more and more stuff. I I, I used to tell my kids that you should try and learn something new every day. Now, when I was a kid, that made me quite the nerd, but I don't care. I used to read encyclopedias for fun. Better look. There we go. So, beautiful, huh? Beautiful spot. That's our sky. That's our wonderful universe. My daughter bought me McDonald's for lunch. Bought me and the wife and herself McDonald's for lunch. I see I'm kind of drifting off screen. I have my grandson taking his nap at the moment, but sure, if he was out here, he'd be saying hi to you all again. So I want y'all to follow me, please. Um, Last time I checked, I still had nine people following me on Facebook or subscribed to me on Facebook. I really, really need higher numbers if I'm going to, continue to learn and grow. Um, but all the information's right here, so feel free to follow me on any of those, and check out my Suno. I mean, let me know if you don't like my music, because to be honest, I cannot um, I cannot decide whether or not I'm making good music unless I get critiqued. So I'm a firm believer in critiquing. So if you all could critique me, I would love that. Um, There we go. Okay. I would love to be critiqued. I would love for some of you to tell me, hey, your music sucks. Hey, your music doesn't suck. I like that one. I don't like that one. Stu, love your book. Going on to number 2. Technically, it's number 3 because I wrote the first one really quick. And then I went through his Daughters of the Dragon Pact, first book. Now I'm heading into the second book. Uh, my Facebook is lagging, as you can see. There it goes. Still no comments. I was having a conversation last night with my beautiful wife and my wonderful daughter, and uh, the subject turned to my theme from yesterday, closing out. So I decided I'd revisit that for a moment. Uh, I believe we, as a society, have reached a place, we are a dark place in our society. We are going to have a hard time getting out. Now, if you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know. But when I was younger, and I don't mean like yesterday, although I was younger yesterday, when I was a lot younger, back in the time of the bicentennial, yes, I was alive for that. And I remember people had kindness and respect for other people. I mean, we still do, but usually it's only if, it benefits us. Uh, we didn't have war, we had Cold War. I mean, it was still bad, don't get me wrong. Um, we had we had crooked politicians then. We have crooked politicians now. But see, my dad, he would go and he would vote, and he would tell us that he voted. He would come home and he would tell us that he voted. And although he didn't tell us how he voted, because they believed it to be fair, to be a secret, it's a private thing. You didn't have to tell anybody who you were voting for or what you were voting for, if you were in favor or against a certain uh, item that was on the ballots. You didn't have to. You weren't expected to. So he'd come home and he'd tell us how he voted, or that he voted, but he wouldn't tell us how he voted. And yet somehow we still ended up growing up to kind of see things. All of my brothers and uh, my sister and myself, we all kind of have the same kind of leaning. We definitely lean to the right. Some of us lean a little further to the right. If I keep leaning to the right, I'm going to end up on the floor. Um, but we didn't have all this violence, and I'm not talking about just physical violence. There's other kinds of violence. There's the emotional violence, the political violence. I don't know what else to call it. The verbal abuse. You know, I put a Trump flag out in front of my house. I didn't have to, I don't have to tell anybody who I'm voting for, but I did. I put a Trump flag. And the kid across the street, he goes, I wish you'd take that down because I don't want people thinking that you're an idiot. This was before Trump won the third time he won. Anyway, but he said, I don't want people thinking you're an idiot. What's it matter what people think of me to anybody but me? If you all want to think I'm an idiot, go ahead. You think I'm ugly? Go ahead. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if I offend you. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you love me. Well, technically, I do care if you love me because I love you right back. I love all of you, even the ones that do hate me, because that's the way God wants me to be. He wants me to love all of you, even, yes, the libtards. I said it. Um, but they didn't have to create this division, but they did. Back when I was in the military, we had this saying: none of us are racist. We're all green because we were all in the army. The only racial divisions we had were green for us, blue for the flyboys, white for the Navy, and red for the Marines. Covered in blood. It's a joke. Anyway, or it was the color of the crayons they were eating. The point is, we didn't we didn't have the violence or the aggression that's out there today, and there's no reason for it. There's no reason for you to dislike me based on something I've done. I didn't get the jab for COVID. I didn't mask up for COVID, but I had so many people mad at me because I didn't. Why aren't you wearing a mask? Because I don't want to. Because I can't. Because what's it matter? It's none of your business. Well, you're spreading the disease. No, I'm not sick. Number one. Number two, um, you got vaccinated. Why are you worried about me? Right? Vaccine works. You ain't got to worry about me anyway. Theoretically. But, irregardless, what I'm saying is we shouldn't have to resort to the violent behavior that we've resorted to over the years. We should be able to love one another as God intended us to do without all of the segregation and separation. I don't care if you're gay, straight, or any of the other letters of the alphabet mafia. I don't care if you're black or you're Asian or if you're considered white, Hispanic, whatever. I love how it's considered white. You know how many whites there are out there? I mean, which white are we talking about? There's a lot of whites. I'm descended from Germans, so I'm Anglo-Saxon. But I know a guy who's also Anglo-Saxon, but he's descended from Irish. Watch these guys on YouTube, Josh and Jace. They're from England. They're white, but you put us next to each other, we don't look alike. We're not the same white. Same thing goes with black. They threw everybody into a pot, said, you're black because your skin color. That's not true. They're not all black. I've had friends who are Jamaican. I've had friends that are all kinds of different skin intonations of black. I guess what I'm saying is stop the segregation, love one another,